execution. Ahead of that as well, there is some very good news because the initial decision where we were going to see only 25% admission into the Accra Stadium has been reversed. So the good thing is that fans of Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak will get the opportunity to go and see the game to a large extent. Welcome to the show. The very simple question, who wins the Super Clash? And what will be your reasons? Send a message on 055 11 11997. 055 11 11997. In terms of the draw to these two clubs in recent times, there is a Cameroonian duo and the forward line of Kumasi Asante Kotoko who seem to have had a fairy tale start. During the week, George Addo Jr. of Joy Sports brought us a very interesting feature about that Cameroonian connection in the Asante Kotoko squad. Away from that as well, you cross to Accra Hearts of Oak, and there's one person everybody admires, irrespective of which club they support, because of his exploits with the national team and clubs in Europe. Sule Ali Muntari, donning the number 10 jersey. Another big attraction for the Phobian side as they go into this very big clash. The biggest of the half season so far. Who wins this one? What will be the factors? And every single bit of the excitement as well. So you're welcome to the Joy Sports Link. My name is Nathaniel Atto. I'm ably backed by the rest of the Joy Sports team. Dennis Ofei on social media production, and of course Benaya Elom Dafiamekpo leading with technical production here at Joy Sports. Welcome to the show. We will get into a bit of the music as well, and I'll be telling you which set of players were singing those songs after training. And of course, these sound bites are very, very recent. This is the Joy Sports Link, and we're glad to have you on board. Do remember that you can reach us on on various platforms. I'll be sharing that with you very, very shortly. But also remember that we're streaming live on YouTube, and so you could just reach us on YouTube as well. But make sure you're a part of the conversations. Make your voices heard, and that will be through +233 55 11 11 997 or simply 055 11 11 997. This is the Joy Sports Link.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, 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 Joy 99.7.
heard that of Kotoko and you heard that of Heart. So Super Clash has been trending on Twitter, and we'll be bringing you some of the comments that have been made so far. Of course, around times like these, you see different sets of comparisons, from the quality of the song to the quality of the players on the pitch, and even the jerseys that will be worn on the day. All sorts of arguments and all sorts of conversations around this one. Very shortly, we're going to get to our guests. But first of all, let's take a listen to a report put together by Joy Sports' Kweku Lawrence, taking a close look at the Cameroonian connection within the playing body of Kumasi Asante Kotoko ahead of this very big one.
Until the start of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season, Asante Kotoko confirmed the signing of Cameroonian forwards Frank Mbella.
Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7.
For very obvious reasons, Mauli Zogwenu of the National Insurance Commission says, my wife wants a replay of the Heart song. Oh. Okay, Mauli, no worries. We're going to play the Heart song again. If we don't take care, we may end up reducing the talk time on the show today. Also, Madame Agnes Mensah, my sweet big sister, she's listening from Tema, and she says, no matter how many prayerful songs you play, Kotoko will win tomorrow. Fabu, oh Fabu, no challenger. Hey. At this point, I wish to be neutral, even though everybody knows that I come from an Accra Hearts of Oak background and a family. Today, we're working. I'm here in the middle.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
If your messages are ready as well, send them through our WhatsApp line. Remember, it's 055 1111997. 055 1111997. Now, late last night, we had the confirmation from the National Sports Authority that the Accra Stadium will now be open to accommodate as many fans as possible for the game between Hearts and Kotoko. Now, this comes after an earlier decision which was taken to admit only 25% in accordance with rules and regulations to prevent COVID-19 or to help in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, there's been a lot of talk, especially yesterday on the Sports Today show on the Joy News channel, which was brought to our viewers live from the Secretariat of Accra Hearts of Oak. I mean, the common cry on both sides of the divide was that they needed to have more numbers at the stadium. Well, as at yesterday at 2 p.m. when we went live on air with Sports Today on the Joy News channel, tickets had already run out at the Accra Hearts of Oak Secretariat at Asylum Down in Accra. Of course, they had also made arrangements to have some of these tickets distributed at different places, different goal stations in Accra and a few other outlets. Of course, the news that came in before we wrapped up the show was that in those places as well, the tickets had run out. So there was also a very urgent need to have the fans physically present in the stadium to watch this game. So the Sports Authority, whom we'll be speaking to very shortly, the Director General of the Sports Authority, Professor Chumesi, will be speaking to us very shortly to tell us what went into taking the decision and what's going to be happening going forward into the next half of the Ghana Premier League season, which begins soon. So remember that there'll be live commentary of this game here on Joy 99.7 FM, and we'll begin the build-up, especially as exactly at 2:50 p.m. And so you join us for the commentary. Today, we're looking ahead to the game. We're looking at the facts, the figures, and we're looking at, all of the analysis going into a big game such as this. This is the Joy Sports Link.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Council, Elvis Herman Hesse has joined us, and he will be telling us, how they're preparing themselves for this big one, especially the good news that has come in from the National Sports Authority, which means that, some last-minute arrangements have to be made for all of the chapters, as many of them as possible, to be represented ably in the stadium tomorrow. Elvis, thank you so much for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
To reappear.
Hello, Herman. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me? All right, so we'll do our best to try to re-establish with him on the Zoom link one more time as we get ourselves into the conversations about Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. In the meantime, send in your messages and send in the predictions as well. Very, very important. Let us know what it is that you feel would happen tomorrow in that game. All right, so let's get back and speak to Elvis Herman Hesse, who is the chairman of the National Chapters Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak. Elvis, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us on the Joy Sports Link. Can you hear me? Okay, can you okay, very well. Now, yeah, I was hoping, for a moment I thought it was because you hadn't muted your, Okay, so let's go ahead. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to have you here on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nat. Good afternoon to your listeners and good afternoon to all of you.
Okay, so on the other side as well, we have Nana Kwame Dankwa, who's representing the National Circles Council of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the official supporters body, and he will also be doing it from the side of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Thank you very much, Nana Kwame. It's good to have you here on the show.
Thank you too, my brother.
Let's begin with Elvis. Now, you are the home side. Yesterday, I was at the Accra Hearts of Oak Secretariat, and there was a lot of frustration, especially for fans who had trooped there and had been there. Some of them had been there for as early as since 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and they had been there, till about 3, 4 p.m., and they were waiting for tickets. They couldn't get some because they had run out. Now, this news from the Sports Authority, or this confirmation to admit mass numbers into the stadium, sure should come as big relief, especially to you, the home side, especially considering what has happened in the season so far.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nat. You are very right. The news was very exciting. It came to us very late yesterday when we were preparing to go to bed. But all the same, it's a good news. We've been waiting, we've been anticipating for such a news because it's not easy playing football without supporters. Supporters play a huge role in football, and the players themselves, they've been missing supporters for some time now, since the beginning of COVID. So it's a good news from government. We've taken it in good faith, just that we've got a lot of work to do because of the timing of the release. Yet we are still on it. As I speak to you now, we've been engaging the chapters. We've been talking to our supporters on social media and also traditional media for them to use the opportunity to get to the stadium, fill the stadium tomorrow to support the boys. We need a victory badly than Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and it's a good news to us in Accra Hearts of Oak.
Okay, interesting stuff there. Okay, so what I also pick up from the administration of Accra Hearts of Oak is that there's a stakeholder meeting happening in the next 15 minutes. It starts in the next 15 minutes, and decisions will be taken as to whether advanced extra tickets are going to be sold ahead of kickoff tomorrow. In the worst case scenario, tickets will be sold from the gates tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium, and all of this will be released later on in the day after this meeting has been held. I picked that up a few hours ago as I was getting ready for the show. Let's speak to Nana Kwame now. Nana Kwame, you've heard Herman. He says that because Hearts of Oak is 12 points behind Asante Kotoko, this game means a lot more to them than you. What is the reaction to that?
Thank you very much, my brother, for the opportunity. My regards to my brother from the other side, Elvis. He's a very good brother. Just that he has joined the wrong club at the moment.
Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7.
Dankwa, representing the National Circles Council of Asante Kotoko, and Elvis Herman Hesse, is representing the National Chapters Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak. Well, we've heard that everybody is making as many attempts as possible to get as many of their representative fans into the stadium. Now, let's come back to you, Elvis. You have a lot of work to do, like you have said. Now, between now and tomorrow, how much buzz do you feel you can create in the stands to push Hearts to get that much needed results that you're saying against the Asante Kotoko? Yeah, Herman, can you hear me? All right, let's continue the conversation with Nana Kwame. Nana, you know we've been talking about quality, the relative quality that each side brings to this big game, and there's been a lot of talk about the Cameroonian duo in the forward line of Asante Kotoko and how much power they've brought and how productive the side has been so far. How do the fans feel about this development, and how much confidence does it give you going game after game, especially at this time that you're in a sort of a comfortable lead in the Ghana Premier League?
Well, I think that this year our players have so far lived to expectation, with the exception of our fourth goalkeeper Rafiu and Andy Kumi. All the registered players for Kotoko this season, almost all of them have tested the competition so far, either DPL or the FA Cup, even though we are out of the FA Cup. All of them have had the opportunity to play. And fortunately for me, as I speak to you, I've had the opportunity of watching all the games played so far this year by Kotoko.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Like this?
Well, It depends on the belief the one have. I have my belief, and I know other supporters will have their beliefs. And yes,
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7. 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 Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
mean that after winning on Sunday, the league is over. You know, we are playing 34 games, and the one against House of Oak on Sunday tomorrow will be the 17th in the first one. We are going to play additional 17 games, and that 17 games will give you more than, let's say, 51 points. And if you are leading somebody, let's say 20 points for instance, and the difference is 51, it's clear that you've not won the league. But it will, prepare you to do more. All the time, to get to the top is not the issue or a problem. But to maintain the form and even add up is what matters sometimes. So we are not going to be complacent. It is important to win the game on Sunday or to get the 3 maximum points on Sunday so that we can stretch the lead. But that does not mean that the league is over. We don't believe in that. We want to get to where even the goal-king race, for some time now, people have been saying Kosovo, it's been a long while since we see a Kosovo player competing in the goalkeeping race. In the long time, you see a Kotoko player scoring a hat trick, a brace, and all that. But this year, you've seen all that. In Bella has scored a hat trick, I think, twice or so. A double, he has scored, twice or so. As we speak, he's a good leading scorer of our goalkeeper. So gradually, some of the things that people used to say 2-3 years ago, it's changing, and we hope that it will continue this way. We have a lot of work to do. We've done well so far, but we believe that the players can do more. So we need to encourage them to do more, so that at the end of the day, Kotoko can reach where God wants it to be.
Nana Kwame, thank you. Thank you so much, and we wish you well tomorrow. Let's see how it goes in the effort.
Where's my brother? Is it gone?
So Elvis has joined us back again, on Zoom. We're trying to re-establish contact with him.
For him. Let him drag. I'm leaving, so he can continue to drag.
Thank you very much, and all the best in that game. Yes. We're still here on the Joy Sports link on Joy 99.7 FM. Keep your messages coming in. We're going to continue the conversation with Elvis Herman Hesse, who is the head of the National Chapters Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak, trying to get themselves up and ready for this very big one. According to the Kumasi Asante Kotoko faithful, it is set and good to go for them. They do admit that it doesn't follow form guide, but are hopeful of a win. What do you think out there as well? Let us know. And let us know about the media buzz ahead of this game. It looks a little low. In the last 24 hours, there's been a massive improvement. But how well has the media in general done regarding pushing attention to this very big game? We'll let you know about that one as well. So keep the messages coming in. And let's now get on the phone lines. Let's now get back to Zoom and also speak to Elvis Herman Hesse some more. And, check once again how they are organizing themselves for this one. We started with the conversation of having last-minute meetings, especially because the confirmation from the National Sports Authority came in, at the rather late hour. But of course, as the home side, they need to take full advantage of the space in the stands and make a major statement, especially considering that Accra Hearts of Oak are, not in the kind of position they expect to be in as defending champions of the Ghana Premier League. So we'll be doing the rest of the conversation right here on the Joy Sports link. You stay with us. And in a few moments, we get to speak to Elvis Herman Hesse again. In the meantime, let's take a listen to that Hearts of Oak song that was requested again. So this is what players do, players and the technical men do after very good training sessions. So this is from the camp of Accra Hearts of Oak, the last two training sessions ahead of this game. And we'll now get on the line and speak to Osei Osubempa, who is a football historian and is a regular contributor to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Max.
Good to have you here. Now, let's quickly get into the facts and the figures. it hasn't looked exactly smooth for Accra Hearts of Oak since the start of this season. Okay, unfortunately, we got a blip on the line. We're just gonna get back and get that one going again. But do remember that Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko have been going at each other for some years now. Now sharing 42 league titles between them since the year 1958. Kumasi Asante Kotoko definitely do have the upper hand when it comes to the league titles, and of course Accra Hearts of Oak also trying their best to catch up in terms of the number. Let's get back on the phone line now and speak to Osei Usubempa. Thank you very much for rejoining us. Well, I was just talking about the situation this particular season and how much it's going to push either side to get a big result on the day tomorrow. Now, Hearts of Oak haven't had it smoothly at all so far, and that should spare them to do something massive tomorrow on the pitch.
Oh, sure. Let me say good afternoon to you and to your cherished listeners. Yeah, that's a fact that in games between House of Oak and Kotoko, normally regarding what challenges one side or another will be having, when it comes to such a game, most of these challenges are thrown to the background. There have been several times where players have boycotted training, have had issues in their camp regarding payment of salaries, arrears and bonuses and stuff leading up to games between Kotoko and Hearts. They must have lost a couple of games before meeting the other. But when it comes to such a game, some of these issues are relegated to the background. Because basically, in as much as it's about, say, positioning on the league and the title ambition, it's also about pride. Nothing more than pride, the bragging right. And it's the reason why it becomes very difficult for you to sometimes put a finger on anything as to whether a team is going to win or lose just on the basis of the fact that they've had a good run to the game or not. In the case of Kotoko, for instance, they've had very good run the last couple of games, and actually for the half of the season that has been played before this game, they are way ahead of House of Oak. I think 13 or 12 points or so against House of Oak. They play the same number of team matches and against the same opponents. The goal scoring difference is very wide, but it does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. I mean, history tells us. In 1991, when House of Oak went to Angola and got humiliated, you remember the towel and bedsheet incident, which I think was overblown. I don't think what was reported in the news at the time was true. But the point is that House of Oak entered Kumasi Sports Stadium. Supporters of Kotoko were holding towels, bedsheets, spoons, and plates, chanting, screaming, and all sorts of things. House came to Kumasi and beat Kotoko 2-1. At that time, Kotoko was way ahead on top of the league. Hearts run in the domestic competition has been very poor, and even at the continental competition has been eliminated from the Cup Winners' Cup. But they came to Kumasi. Kotoko were playing, I think, in the African Champions League at the time, the African Club Championship, and House came to be Kotoko in Kumasi. So it matters very little when the team is going to have form or not.
If we were going to go strictly along the lines of recent form, how would you expect? Let's get ourselves, into the first half space and get yourself into the shoes of players of both sides, and look at how much pressure there's likely to be on either side, considering the current situation.
I think for House of Oak, the challenge has been the wobbly manner in which they went into the African competition. I mean, the two games against the North African side didn't help the image of House of Oak and also the confidence of the players, as well as the coaches, the technical team of the club. Ever since, they've not been able to get themselves back together. I don't think House have won more than 3 games in a row in the ongoing competition. They win one game, they draw, struggle to win at home, and then there's a defeat and blah, blah. So it has been very difficult. On the basis of that, should Kotoko, for example, win tomorrow, it will be no news. After all, they are in form. They have a player who has scored 2 hat-tricks, 11 goals in 12 matches. They have a team which has 12 points ahead of House of Oak with the same number of games played. So a victory for Kotoko will not even surprise many honest, dedicated House of Oak supporters. But should House win or even draw against Kotoko, I think it will be somehow taken as a defeat to Asante Kotoko. Even a draw in Kumasi, in Accra, probably House of Oak will be more happier with a draw than Kotoko. That's not to say that House are not capable of winning. They can. I watched Kotoko against Accra Lions last Saturday in Kumasi here, and the defense was just kind of something that you could not even talk about. My question was that is the same defense going to play against House of Folk? Yes, they could probably pick the same set of players. I know Ibrahim Imoro will join the team because of the record that he suffered, the reason why he couldn't play against Accra Lions. But even with the same set of players, their attitude and performance could be different from the way they did against Accra Lions. But if they show up the same way they did against Lions, there could be trouble for Kotoko in Accra. Because the chances that Accra Lions miss, I doubt if Bamiye, Koji, Mensah and Co will probably miss most of these chances. And so it is not a done deal for Kotoko, and I'm sure they know that very well. Last week, even when they were up by 2-1, it was a matter of just luck that Lions could not even go 3-2 against Kotoko before probably Kotoko got the third goal to make it 3-1. It wasn't a very good game defensively for Kotoko. And I will not be surprised if they play the way they did, especially in defense against House of Oak. The results will be different.
Let's talk about the draw, the draw for the fans. You know, the magnetic draw for the fans for a game like this. Over the years, star power has always been a factor. Now, in the years when we do not necessarily have too much star power, it becomes a little difficult in trying to drag the fans or get them there. Obviously, for sentimental reasons, the dedicated Hearts and Kotoko fans will watch this game anyway. Now, there is one element which can create a very big buzz, and I'm talking about Sule Ali Muntari. That is, if he plays. How much would he bring to this game? Now, I'm asking this, based on my last experience with a Hearts and Kotoko game in Kumasi years ago, when we had a similar legend in Lai Kingston play for Accra Hearts of Oak, and how, he rallied the side together. He actually got a red card on the day, but the kind of buzz that he brought into the stands was totally magical. What he even brought into Accra Hearts of Oak's output on the day was just amazing. It ended as a 1-1 draw. At the time, CK Akono was in charge of Hearts and Maxwell Konedu was in charge of Kotoko. What is it that Sule Ali, the Sule Ali Muntari effect, can bring if he's introduced into this game?
I think, Sule, we are not sure whether he'll be introduced, but the point is that at least the last 2 games, he's been part of the House of Oak team and has featured against, I think, RTU, the last game they played against RTU, and I think the game before then he also came in as a sub. On the part of Sule, I think is the House of Oak supporters that will have to feel the drive and the presence of Sule. I'm sure a lot more House supporters will probably want to see a big player of Sule's stature come into their fold and also play in such a game. I don't remember if Sule actually played against Kotoko when he played for Liberty. Because remember, he played not more than 10 games at Liberty before he finally was shipped to Italy to begin his professional career abroad. This may be a good opportunity for him. Much will also depend on the way he will conduct himself. In the game against Larry Kingston, I remember very well, even before the game, there were rumors in town Larry was going to pick a record. Remember, Kotoko had a very good psychologist at the time, and this was part of their game plan to get Larry out of the game. Out of his game as in attracting record, some through some provocation or whatever it is and stuff like that. So far, the 2 games that we've seen Sule played, he's conducted himself very well. He's not one of the most temperament players. He's a very temperamental guy. We all know very well. I'm sure age and experience must have taught him a lot of things, and also based on some of these examples that you've just brought, must have been reminded of some of these things, and therefore he will conduct himself in a way. But I think if you have a player like Sule's caliber playing in the competition of this nature, in a game of this nature, it certainly adds some brightness to the competition. There's no doubt about that. Don't also forget that on the part of Kotoko, many of the fans who have not seen their Cameroonian idols, the 2 Cameroonian idols play, especially Frank and Bella, the number 11 shirted player, and also his colleague, contemporary Fege, they will want to see him. And I mean, even when he's in Accra, remember the numbers will always be in favor of Kotoko in terms of the positioning at the stands. Kotoko will always fill the stands more than the House of Full supporters. We know, for whatever reasons, I can't really tell. But the presence of these 3 stars, Bella on one side, Bella and Fege on one side, and Sule Muntari, can bring something more. We hope and pray that the players will also be able to live up to the billing. The fans will also comport themselves, and then we get the best out of Ghanaian tradition, as in the Classico, or however we call it, on Sunday. I've heard people who are talking about referees and all sorts of things. You were talking about spirituality and Judaism or whatever it is. in football with Nana Kwame and Co. These are things that I don't believe in. I believe that in life there are certain coincidences. They happen, and you expect it happens, and you think that that's how the plan was. It's always not the case. Life is about who works harder. It's not about who prays harder or who worships harder, who gets the results. Getting the results demands a bit more of hard work than prayers and spirituality. And
Could it also be the case of psychology, just trying to work on the psyche of the opposing club and its officials? Is it that?
Oh yeah, no, that's part of it. It's part of football. You go into games of this nature, a lot of things are said. Sometimes physical threats and threats of intimidation and stuff. These are part of the game. I mean, as long as they are quote unquote legitimate and do not infringe on the rules of the game, all these things come to play. Sometimes players get on the pitch, and we are talking of you get somebody who claims to be spiritually inclined coming on air saying that the color of the day is blue, red, and white, or whatever it is, and say all sorts of things. We've seen years ago when we used to say that on Akweside, Kotoko hardly wins game. But Kotoko has beaten House of Folk and other class on Akweside before. They've also lost games on Akweside before, both in Accra and Kumasi. So some of these things do not really matter. In games between House of Folk and Kotoko, there's one thing that I can certainly say, that form counts a lot. I've heard people who say form doesn't count. To say that form doesn't count completely is completely wrong. This is it. When House of Folk are in form, it counts more than when Kotoko are in form. That's a fact. It wasn't by accident, by any magic, or by any shade of coincidence of juju or whatever it is, that, for example, House beat Kotoko 400 in 2000. It was because the team was in form. I remember having a conversation at that time when I was working at GTV with the late Sister Joseph Few. And we were having a conversation at the studio before a program. And I said, Jones, Coach, you've been able to build a team such that the players can even close their eyes and then smell each other around themselves. And he said, yes, you are right. Because this was it. That if Cobson takes a ball, and assuming Amakwambeku has closed his eyes or Ishmael has his eyes closed, just by hearing the sound of or the smell of whoever is around him, you know this is Cobson. And if it's Cobson, I know Cobson was going to put the ball on my left. All he had to do was to move to his left and receive the ball. Basically, they had built a team of strong telepathy. I mean, that I was just trying to be exaggerated. But they had done the team that they have built. A period of over 4 years. Remember, they went to Champions League 1998. It didn't work out. 99 didn't work out. In 2000, they had maintained almost the same set. Had added Ishmaelado, Chastela, and Osekofo, and they were playing fantastically well. Kotoko has struggled to build a team from 1999 when Herbert came, and no wonder they could not even win the league around that time. Hearts were in the form of their life, and therefore some of these things count. In few instances, or in many instances, it becomes difficult for Kotoko to even win when they have the form, whether they are playing in Kumasi or Accra against Hazobo. Yes, there are some instances where Kotoko have also had the form in 1980 when they won 10 in Accra. Okokunti, Abetasasis, and the Kukwe Free and stuff were in the forms of their life, and it's the reason why they won. In few instances, on few occasions, Kotoko have won when they have form on their side, when they have star power on their side. But tomorrow, supporters should not be surprised. I'm talking of Kotoko fans should not be surprised if House of Folk, for example, are able to pull a draw or possibly a win. It is something that is more difficult for. It's less difficult for House to do than for Kotoko to do when they don't have form, history, present favorable conditions, and good wind blowing around themselves at the time. House have done this several times. There are times that they've had very terrible teams. There are times players have boycotted training sessions and blah, blah, blah. They put a team together within 24 hours. Remember Boyso's era?
Sure.
And then Kotoko are leading 1, the House of Folk will come from behind 2-1. Or they come in, a team which is not so good. Remember the day, I don't remember the year, I think it was 1989, 1991, thereabout. House of Folk came to Kumasi virtually without a recognized striker. Emmanuel Ama was put as the striker. House won the day 1-0. And so these are things that are possible. The point is that House are able to pull more surprises in such games than Kotoko are able to. And that's the reason why I will caution my Kotoko supporters not to be overly optimistic. Over the week, I've heard radio commentary, television, and media commentary as to the kind of goals that Kotoko has been scoring, the points built up, and blah, blah, blah. It will count for very little if we are talking about Kotoko. But if House of Folk have this advantage over Kotoko at this stage, if House of Folk were 36 points, Kotoko won 24. If House of Folk player had scored 11 goals, no Kotoko player has scored more than even 8 goals. I could have been very sure that House is going to carry the day, whether it's in Kumasi or in Accra. tomorrow.
Now, I want you to also tell me how you, from your specialist point of view, would expect either side to approach this game. Let's begin with the home side, Accra Hearts of Oak, who have the bigger task because they have a very big deficit to catch up with on the league table.
I think for us, probably they can throw caution to the wind. Like I said, if Hearts of Oak lose this game, even their coaches, the CEO, and people will not be people closer to Hearts of Oak probably will not be very surprised. I think with Hearts of Oak, there are so very little ways or avenues of winning this game. But it does not mean that there's no avenue at all for them winning. I think to approaching this game, they must throw a bit more of, they must deal with less caution, throw caution into the wind to a very large extent, and then begin to play their normal game, attack and take their chances. For Kotoko, there's more for them to protect. If they cannot win, Kotoko should not lose. And that is where the challenge will be for Kotoko. House of Oak will come in as wounded lions. They know they have their backs against the wall, and that even a defeat will not surprise many of their supporters. And therefore, the opportunity of House of Oak going into this game, to me, they have better opportunities than Kotoko because there's nothing for them to lose. And therefore, they can throw caution to the wind. That's the reason why I think that they can start the game as robust as they normally do. Remember during the Jones days, if you have Cobson, if you have Chasalote, these are very petite, small players that can bring down mountainous players, can do everything on the field, break legs, and do, quote unquote, do everything that is supposed to. I doubt if House of Oak have got those kind of, quote unquote, near-dead players in their current team. And many of the times when House were winning against Kotoko, it's because they have players who are still, who were rocky and steely. In other words, they were fearless, could fight and battle it out in the middle, and then just throw the balls forward. Only one chance, and then the victory will just come their way. I hope tomorrow that's going to be. And Kotoko, one thing I know of Kotoko for now is that they are very good methoders. I mean, the numbers, not just the quality, but also the numbers. I understand Gama, for example, didn't make the trip. But if you have Mudasiru, Boadu, you have Sharif, Mohammed, count them. They have a lot to pick from. Hasbro don't seem to have, especially with the departure of Efutu, they seem to have lost something in the midfield. Tomorrow, I'm sure Ibrahim Salif is also going to play because of injury that he suffered in the previous game. That's going to be very difficult for us. But as I said, it's a game between House of Oak and Kotoko. House have more ways of winning than Kotoko does. That's a fact. Regardless, Kotoko can only count on form and sometimes some aspect of luck. But in many cases, House of Oak do not have to have form to beat Kotoko. And that is going to be a sticking point tomorrow. But on the basis of what I've seen, the fluidity of the Kotoko attack as against the House of Oak defensive frailties, only a time will tell. Tomorrow's game will come probably as a surprise to a lot of people. But if Kotoko wins, to me, I wouldn't be surprised. If they draw, I'll be a bit surprised. But a defeat to Kotoko will be even more terrifying for most of their fans. And I'm sure House of Oak will be, as I said, will be very happy, even going home with a point. Remember, I think last year or two, when Kotoko had good form, they came to Accra. I think the game ended in a draw, and the House of Oak fans were very happy because with all the firepower from Kotoko couldn't win. But lately, remember, Kotoko have been having good results in Accra since 2010. Kotoko have won couple more games in Accra against House of Oak than they have. House of Oak have done even against Kotoko. And in few times when the games end in draw, you see House of Oak fans being happy. So both, it probably may be the same.
All right. So finally, let me just push finally. The kind of result you're expecting, looking at everything you've calculated.
I think I'll 60% chance of Kotoko winning, 40% for House of Oak, and I would go beyond 100%. Probably a possibility of a draw, about 30%. But as I said, this is football. It's not scientific. Anything is possible. Luck, things can turn. You may have start a game, few minutes into the game, injuries can happen, cautions, expulsions and stuff may happen, and a lot of things can go wrong at any point in time. So I wish the teams the best of luck. I wish the referee to the best of luck. I understand he's one of us, quote unquote, as in being a journalist, and I wish him all the best. I hope tomorrow, when the result comes out on Monday, people will not go back playing a tape of him analyzing a game between House of Folk previously in one way or another. For example, say House wins, and then the tape comes out and say that, 2 years ago he was analyzing the game and seemed to be favoring her. Then people begin to say, he's a House of Folk supporter. Or a similar thing happens and Kotoko wins and say, he was a Kotoko supporter. I don't remember 4 years ago when he was doing this analysis on radio, he said this and blah, blah. But I think these referees are professionals. And I understand he's a very educated guy, and I'm sure if he's looking at the FIFA badge, these are some of the games that he needs to handle very well to be able to get there. I believe that some of the experienced referees could also be on the side to assist him psychologically as he prepares for the game. And I also urge the fans to comport themselves. The ban has just been lifted for a full capacity stadium to be utilized, and therefore sportsmen and women, patrons of the game, we will do access a lot of good if we comport ourselves. If anything happens, I'm sure it will give the government or the authorities the opportunity to go back and say, well, we are going back to the 25% and blah, blah, blah. Let's comport ourselves, go by the COVID protocols, and then I'm sure football will be the winner. The stadiums have just been renovated. I always hope that, I always want to caution that people will comport themselves, not to be throwing chairs, tables, and whatever it is onto pitches when decisions don't go your way. We just finished the African Cup of Nations. We saw some very terrible decisions. None of these things happen, and therefore I don't think some of these things must happen in the modern history of our football.
Well, what can I say? Thank you so much. And of course, that referee is somebody who will be at the center of all of the action and the conversations. Referee Rostum Gamali Senugbe, he will be in charge of that game. He was previously a broadcaster, sport. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Seo Usubempa, for the analysis. Now, coming up next, we'll go to the Director General of the National Sports Authority. I know your messages are coming in. I'm going to make time to do as many of them as possible, so keep them coming in. 055-111-11997. I know there are some who are talking about the song and the spirit behind it. Some are also projecting into score lines. Well, let's see. Osei Wusubempa, the specialist, says that he wants he sees a 50% win chance for Asante Kotoko, a 40% win chance for Hearts of Oak, and he's going beyond 100% of course, and maybe a 30% chance of a draw. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. Let's now quickly take a listen to the National Sports Authority, who gave that approval for mass attendance at this game. Professor Peter Chumesi is the Director General of the National Sports Authority and has joined us for the show as well. Thank you very much, Prof, for your time. It's good to have you here.
You're welcome, and my greetings to you and your team, listeners and viewers, brother.
Thank you very much, Prof. Now, the decision to finally allow fans to go in, I'm sure that a couple of factors, informed this. Can you let us into them?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, a lot has gone into it, as you have indicated. 2020 March, somewhere there about the COVID outbreak, which was a pandemic in states, affected almost everything, and the sports wasn't spared at all. We had to even shut almost all the sporting activities, and gradually, by the grace of God and also the good leadership of His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I think we have been recovering. I think though it has been very gradual, I think first we came up with non-contact sports, we came to contact sports, the team sports, then we relaxed it to allow even some spectators to get in, and then we also had to really ensure that we get all these protocols for the COVID in our stadium well implemented, vaccination also began. So gradually we have been freeing ourselves from some of these restrictions, and I think we got into a time that when we put all these assessments together and the conditions of the ground, and also getting also from some of our important partners, the Ghana Health Services, if you look at also even the CAF, which is the continental body that regulates football in particular as a team sport. I think the last time when we went to the Cameroon for this AFCON, we realized that even some of the stadia played up to about 80%, so long as you implement the protocol. So we have done all this review, and yesterday the governing board of the authority, which is also mandated to help with the regulation of all these protocols across the sports fronts, gave the directive that we should relax it and get people to go on to be able to also access our facility and in this case that we have been using is removed, and in place of it is the strict compliance of the protocol, especially masking, and also the Ghana Health Services is helping with the people who also need vaccination, as we are going to set up some centers of vaccination around the stadia. And all these can also help to be able to get people also well protected. So that is why we came up with this decision. We are expecting that even as the COVID-19 protocol, the task force continue with their work, and our submission of another proposal to help with some of these adjustments of the restrictions across the school sports and many other things also follow up very soon. So I think we have come a bit far. We have really understood how we can manage the situation, and I think that so far, I think we are doing so well.
All right, Prof. Now, you've mentioned the task force and what exactly will be done. So, can you quickly walk us through what kinds of protocols would be ensured at the stadium tomorrow? Once a fan walks in and gets a ticket, either from the gate or already has like an advance ticket, what happens?
Yes, so as we have indicated, even for our facilities, when we say the full capacity, since 2001 with the May 9 disaster, you realize that we have always been playing with some empty or vacant seats, I think, from the Okudjeto's commission. We are not able to get even the full 100%. I think the maximum we have done is normally about 80 to 85, then with some spaces left. So with this now, the club had to decide, and I'm told that with the discussion that we had with the GFA and also with the Accra House of Folk, they have decided to print 30,000 seats. You know, Accra Sports Stadium can take a maximum of 40,000, so they are going to administer 30,000. So if you are able to get these tickets in advance, or you come to our stadium tomorrow, you will be checked to be sure that you have also your mask well on. I think we have also the Veronica bucket and all the others also in place. And then you also maintain the social distancing. I think that was the advice which was given to us in December last year for all the social events, that we make sure that we go by the masking at the same time, also keeping also our distances. So these are very strict ones. But then it's also strongly recommended that the people who have done the vaccine will be preferred, and those who also have to also probably get the vaccination at the stadium. We have these centers there that you can take advantage and also get yourself vaccinated.
Yeah, Prof. This means that this measure will be applied for the rest of the football season at all centers.
Yes. But you see that I think apart from the major matches like the category A, the Hearts and Kotoko, and then occasionally with some of our national teams, we hardly even go beyond that percentage that we set. So with this, now we believe that we would to really relax and let it apply to almost all the facilities to help, with the using of the
Talk about facilities, and just before we wrap it up, let's veer a bit away from here. In about 4 weeks' time, we have a major national assignment. The Black Stars going into the first game of 2 for the final set of World Cup games. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the use of the Cape Coast Stadium and all of that, vis-a-vis the celebrations, the national, the 65th Independence Anniversary celebrations. Can you give us a bit of clarity on it? Are we having the match past on the same pitch? What will be the arrangement? We want to get some clarity on that.
Yes, you see, initially when we were contacted by the FA to get the facility certified for the qualifiers, the AFCON and also the World Cup, we released the Accra Sports Stadium and then the Cape Coast. The Baba Yara Sports Stadium by then was under renovation. So these two, Accra and Cape Coast, got certified. You remember at the time when we had this menace, the COVID at its peak, most of the matches were played behind closed doors, and we preferred to use the Cape Coast Stadium. Accra was also, if you remember, the CAF brought the Liberian team to play with the Cape Verde, I think somewhere in October last year. So these centers are all open and available for this qualifier matches, even for World Cup. But we were told that they had already submitted the Cape Coast to be considered, although we had even wanted them to invite the CAF to also certify the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. It looks like the Cape Coast seems to be the preferred venue, although Accra can also be used. If it happens that after the 5th match commemoration, they will still have to organize the match over there, we can easily repair or maybe get a place ready for the match. So it shouldn't be a worry to us at all.
All right, Prof. Thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful having you here on the show to give us some clarity on some of the issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Professor Peter Chumesi is the Director General of the National Sports Authority, and he says that the gates are open, fans can go and watch their football. That is the import of the conversation we just had. So tomorrow, you can go there. Make sure that you get in there early and make sure you get to the gates and see if you can grab one of those available tickets. Very shortly, we'll activate the phone line so that you can join us. It's 0302216541, 0302216541. In a bit, I'll get into your messages as well. So many of them coming on our WhatsApp platform. 0302216541. Get through to us. Let's get your thoughts as well. Do you also feel that there is a big percentage probability for a win for Asante Kotoko? What are your reasons? Let us know via the phone line 0302216541.
Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah.
This is a message from John in Ridge. He says, good afternoon, Nat. Looking at their current form, Kotoko will beat Hearts of Oak by 1-0. Thank you very much, John from Ridge, for that message.
Asante Kotoko yebesha mamo.
Okay, this one says Hearts will certainly win over their Asante Kotoko counterparts. I'm Justice Kwabnai J. Dibala from Bunsu. Okay. Thank you very much, Kwabnai J. Dibala from Bunsu.
Asante Kotoko yebesha mamo. Asante Kotoko yebesha mwako. Asante Kotoko.
Okay, so this one is from
Asante Kotoko yebesha ko.
Renee in Dodowa says Inkephobia. Okay, so so many O's and so many A's. I'm not sure I'm able to, All right, 0302216541. 0302216541. 0302216541. Get through to us and let's hear your predictions as well. Now, we'll be getting through to Bernard Dombote. Who knows what it means to win an African title and knows what it means, I beg your pardon, to also win the league title. He knows what it means to score goals wearing the Accra Hearts of Oak shirt. We'll be taking his thoughts as well as we build up to this one. Remember, there'll be live commentary here, and the build-up is from 2:50 p.m. So thank you very much. It's from this one was from Renee in Dodowa. Thank you very much, Renee. All right, so let's get on the phone lines now and speak to you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Abu Mohammed is my name.
Abu, thank you for joining us
I'm
on the show.
from Japan. Yeah, you see, this is exactly where we want to get Kotoko. When you think they have on form, that is when we surprise them. When they win, it will not be surprised. That is when we surprise them. When we are not on form, that is when Kotoko have the confidence. Even we are not on form, you see, they don't have that confidence. You understand? So we are going to win them tomorrow because we really need it. We need it more than they need it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abu. Let's get back on the phone line. 0302216541. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us.
My name is Kuku Olison and I'm calling from Lateville.
Good to have you.
Yes. They said they need it more than we need it, eh? Hey. Now, when it comes to Kotoko and House, we don't know who needs it. Too. It's about who wins. We don't know about it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, very good. You see that with everything shows that these days they say the form guide does not play. Why didn't form guide help House of Folk against Work of Morocco? Form guide should have helped us against GSS. We are coming to beat Accra House of Folk, and it's a must. You see, by 5 o'clock tomorrow, you will come to realization that the club, with its totem, the history scritata, has a history worthy of emulation. I'm telling you, see that everywhere will be Infegi, Ibella. It is strange. Playing like those two guys. And then you see that, let me tell you, you know that this guy can even play blaster number 10 better than any player currently in this country. I'm talking about Richmond Lampy.
Okay, apologies for the blip there. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. 0302216541. 0302216541. Here on Joy 99.7 FM as we're getting close to wrapping up the Joy Sports Link in some 20 minutes. Let's get on the text line. And Godwin in North Kanishi says, Nathaniel, this Hearts song is the best in the world. Oh, the spirit alone behind the song is crazy. As for Kotoko, they will run tomorrow. It is a 4-0 win for Hearts tomorrow. Phobia. Okay, Godwin in North Kanishi, thank you. Thank you very much for that message. Let's get back on the phone line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Please go ahead.
My name is Boatin Salifu. I'm calling from Accra. House of Folk, they should stop talking about form or they having form or not they having form. On paper, we are ahead of them. And tomorrow, we are going to give them only 3. Mark my words. We are giving them 3. There's no way they will score us. Last year, our team was not all that better, but they managed to score us only 1 goal. But tomorrow, we are giving them 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. 0302216541. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Thank you for joining us. Can you lower the volume on your set, please?
Is it better?
It is better. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you introduce yourself by saying your background tells that you're a House of Folk fan. But your uncle says so when they are Kotoko fans, Ajay Paddy and the rest. I know you very well.
Oh,
anyway, that's just one of those things.
I wasn't expecting that.
You, Don't mind me.
That's
don't
okay.
Mind me.
That's okay. I mean, once I'm remaining in the middle, it's fine, isn't it?
What is House of Folk saying? We don't play football with old men. Oh. We don't play football with old men. You go and sign these old men to come and play House of Folk. What are you talking about? You see those Cameroonian boys? The guys are on fire. They are on fire. And tomorrow you have to go and apologize to your uncle Ajay Paddy.
Okay.
Is winning.
I hear you.
Have a good afternoon.
You're still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. And of course, we're taking your messages via the phone. I'll be doing some more of the messages on our WhatsApp platform as well. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon. This is Salon from Jamestown.
Okay, how's Jamestown this afternoon?
Everything's okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Kotoko win tomorrow one day. But is it a problem with Kotoko? Most of the time, because of the history, they don't have that confidence. That's what people are saying. They don't have that confidence when they are coming to Accra. I guess it.
Yeah.
But Accra is their ground. They can win here. You see, there's only one club that has a folk fears. And I will mention that club to you. Maybe you were not old when that club was playing. Voradep. Have you heard of Voradep?
I remember Voradep. Professor Mausi Dakes Voradep.
Yes. When we are coming here, they humble themselves. But because we are no longer there, that's why they are making all the mama over here. Okay.
So
Have a
you
nice
owe
day,
me,
bye-bye.
you owe me one white ram for saying that I didn't know Hovoradev. So
Okay.
I'll come and
Because I'm 40 and above now, so I thought maybe by that time you were not.
no problems at all. I'll come and collect my white ram from you.
All right, bye.
Thank you for the phone call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cesar Ato.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
Thank you. My name is Caesar, calling from Tamale.
Oh, great. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've already secured my flight ticket coming to Accra tomorrow morning, inshallah.
Oh, great.
This is a turning point for Accra House of Folk, Cesar Ato. Mark it on the wall. This is a turning point. We are going to use Koroko to turn the fortunes of our season. And there's a simple short of message to our players. They should take it easy on this game and play their normal game. If they should play like the way they did against RCU in Tamale over the weekend, I think this Koroko team is beatable. They couldn't even beat Mina Sharks in Cape Coast, and they want to come to Accra for a point to clean the league. They should forget about it. It is a 3-1 victory for Accra House Folk tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nat.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm doing Tachu from Adenta.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. I was expecting you once you were having the interview with the NSA boss. Why is it that we have the venues for ceremonies like the independence celebration? We have the Black Star Square. If they want to go to Cape Coast, they can go to the Jubilee Park. Come to this house because they think we are not performing.
The story will be a different one tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. I'm great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing too?
I'm doing good.
Very well.
I'm not a supporter of any of the two teams. And somebody has planned killers. But now they are not in the top. Kotoko are far ahead of House of Folk. But these two teams, that with current analysis, I think.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Zero 0302216541. Powerful worship. Hearts will beat Kotoko by 2-0.
Nana order on him up. Esum Jaini. Nasinka wo. Since coffee men say, what prayer in few.
Okay, that message came from Reverend Clifford Akwe. Thank you very much, Reverend Clifford Akwe, for that message. Reverend, clearly, identifying with the worship there. Alex from Adenta says, Nat, the game is decided even before it is kicked off. Fabulous Asante Kotoko all the way. Okay, Alex, there's something you surely do know that we all do not know. Share some more with us. It's 055-111-1997 on WhatsApp. So thank you very much, Alex from Adenta. Some more on the phone lines, 0302216541, 0302216541. Okay, this one is from Ajiman Joseph. Good afternoon, Nat.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Okay, there's another message here. It's from Ifya Yeb, and it says, fabulous, a win without a doubt. From Ifya Yeb in Osu. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well. There's this other message from Kaunda in Fadama. He says, "Good afternoon, Nat. These days, fuel prices and e-levy can make you forget big clashes like these. You can only be reminded that Kotoko and Hearts of Oak is on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. Okay, thank you very much. And of course, while the troubles are ongoing, let's just make sure that we follow the brief build-up from 2:50 p.m. as we look ahead to the big kickoff at 3 p.m. This one is from Vincent Chico in Botiano Hills. And he says, Hearts will win by a lone margin. The Hearts music is so far fun than Yanum. And he says Sule has a rich experience. His inclusion will make a lot of difference. And in fact, I predict that he will give all the assists and all the goals that Hearts will score.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
I was asking the simple question about the psychology. How much of an effect does it have, on you, the players? You've played in many Super Clash games. Does all of these things? Don't use this route. Wear this color. This tone of color. What is all of that about?
It has to do with the individual actually. Players have got different personalities and different characters. Some of the players actually cannot stand this kind of perceptions and superstitious myths here and there. It has effect on some of them. And some of them, it doesn't even have any effect on me.
Okay.
In our time, we had players like Kwabnadoji. There is no way such things will have effect on him. The moment he jumps onto the pitch, he's like, he doesn't see anything.
Okay.
There are some players too, it actually downplays on them. It has an effect on them. They become cool, quiet.
I see.
They really have to warm themselves up into the game. Some of us will have to, talk to them. So I think it's much better if the supporters can actually keep these things away from the players. I mean, they can do whatever they want to do, but the players should also stop listening to all kind of these things. Don't wear this. Don't go to the pitch.
Don't eat this kind of food.
This kind of food. Go onto the pitch with your back and put flowers on your ear.
No, we've seen, but we've seen the players do all of these things
Most
before.
of them are just huna.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of them are just huna. I mean, actually, I personally see it that way. The actual act is on the field.
Okay.
Yeah, go out there and deliver. Do your best. That is all. Let those things. Those who think it matters, it should matter to them. Of course, the world it's a global place. There are superstitious stuffs in the world. You can't rule them out. But then, as a player, you shouldn't allow this to have an effect on you. It does have effect if you think about it. Like I told you, we knew players that usually get demoralized when they hear things like that. They get down. You really have to talk them
Psych them
through
up,
and psych
yeah.
them up. Yeah. And there are certain players too. They don't bother at all. I mean, this does not play any role. I was actually looking forward to see Don Bote or Amankwame Kuya. Where are they?
So we're trying very hard to reach
They-
Don Bote.
they-
Don
they-
Bote is in the Bruno region
they
now.
already
He was
scared.
going to.
Ishmael is in town. He should be here. Where is he?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All of it has to translate into some result on the pitch tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. We do this, and we mean to encourage the fans. They should be at the stadium, but they also have to behave. Football rules to play. We don't want to experience any act of indiscipline or hooliganism or anything at the Accra Sports Stadium. I mean, Kotoko fans, House fans, we are all one. It's at the end of the day, it's Mother Ghana. We want to make sure that football is on the rise here. We all know what happened at the AFCON. I mean, let's use our local football to rejuvenate the energy and then encourage the fans. Come out in your numbers, in your colors, in your jersey, supporting your clubs, but they will need to fight. At the end of the day, we are all one people. It's Mother Ghana and Ghana football at heart. So let's all be united, troop to the stadium and support our fans. And at the end of the day, trust me, Kumasa Santi Kotoko is going to carry the day. You know who's in town, yeah? Etuga.
Tell me, from where you sit, this whole buzz, once in a while we have imports into the Ghana Premier League who do well. Yeah. And, these two Cameroonian players seem to be the talk of town. Now the fans have already given them an accolade.
Yeah. So far, so good. I think that is all is expected of a striker. You need to deliver. You need to bang in the goals. That's as a striker, that is all you need to do. And I think those two guys are actually doing their best. One of them is the highest top scorer so far now with 11 goals. That is fantastic. I think the last time we had Ishmael still holds the record of 23 goals.
Sure.
And we are about 18 games so far, right? Or is it 18 or 19 games? So
Thereabout,
far,
yeah, sure.
with
We're just at the stroke of the first half of the
with
season.
11 goals.
Yes, sure.
So if he should continue this way, and that means we expect him to have around 22 goals by the end of the season. So he's on the verge of, I think, trying to set a record for himself, to make himself proud, and to make Kumasa Santi Kotoko also proud. So big ups to the technical team and management for this excellent job. I mean, when you bring a player and he's not doing well, the bashing goes to you. And at the same time, if you bring a player and he's doing fantastic well, we should also give them the credit.
Now, how do you feel about the buzz around the Ghana Premier League? We know that there was a lot of focus on the AFCON. Unfortunately, Ghana couldn't do as well as the fans expected. Now we need to switch attention to the Ghana Premier League. How do you feel about the general buzz, especially around this game? Have you felt it? Do you think it's below par? Do you think we're doing just okay?
Well, I think it's okay as compared to previous years or past years. But I think by the end of the day or by midday tomorrow, we'll see more of the vibes. A lot of the media houses are doing well to promote this game. I think the clubs are also doing their part. And as we said, we all want to get away from what happened in Cameroon. So before I forget, let me develop my heart for Sulali Muntari for actually thinking of coming back to Ghana to play for one of the big clubs, Accra House of Folk. I also give him the maximum respect for joining the team all the way to Tamale to play over there. We know most players might not embark on this journey, but I actually give him much respect for this, and looking forward to see him play tomorrow. I saw his game against Great Olympics, and I know Sule. I know the kind of player he is.
You've played alongside him in the Black Stars.
He's got the character, and if he wants to deliver, he will deliver. Sule doesn't even know. He doesn't even joke when he's training. He's always serious, and I maximum respect to him for this. Tomorrow, it's unfortunate that he will be at the other side. He's going to play against my team. Well, I wish him well, but at the end of the day, Kumasa Santekodoko is going to carry the day. I wish to extend my greetings to Stephen Apia too. I'll be with him at the stadium tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he knows what I'm talking about.
Let's take this message. This message has come in. Nii in Ajay Kojo says, please ask Chipsa which Hearts player gave him a real tough time during his playing days.
3 players.
Okay.
Chasalote.
Okay.
Ajatete. What's his name? He came from Kotoko to House of Folk. Copson.
Edmund Copson.
Yeah. Actually, Alote and Aja, we've always fought throughout the 90 minutes.
Fights? Yes. Like you have arguments and stuff?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, they don't want me to play. I don't want them to play.
I see.
Yeah. So it's always been battle between me and them.
I see. And what about Copson as well?
Yeah, Copson too. I speak Ghana. I speak Ghana very well.
Yeah.
They never expected that. They think every player
in Kumasi Asante speaks only Twi.
Exactly. So there was one time when they got to realize that I speak Ghana. Chasalote said, "Kwe, bodeja oshimbi oti Kumasi to cha Asante me kwa ba agba wana. Be a Ghanaian." So it has always been like that. We exchange words and on the field. But at the end of the day, we are friends. Don Bote has been my childhood friend.
Yeah.
We played together from Soccer Millionaires in Nwa, Soccer Millionaires in Labadi, Coast Football. So Don, we've been close friends since our childhood. So he knows me very well. I know him very well. So we've always been together. And then Ishmael Chastela, when those days when they were playing for House of Folk, we all belonged to the national team, the U20. So we've been friends, but on the field is business.
Okay. So by the business, what's going to happen tomorrow? Kotoko winning?
Yes, Kotoko winning.
From your end?
Yes, from my
end.
end.
Yusuf, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here on the show. We really appreciate your time. Okay, so Yusuf Chipsa, a legend of Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.